Oh, dear listener, it's a poorly filet mignon coming to you today from medium rare poetry. I've been struck down, you know. No, it wasn't COVID-19. It wasn't bird flu. It was man flu. And as I suffered, I had to write a poem. So today I present to you Hard Case. Hard Case by Filet Mignon. I took myself to hospital. The doctors were aghast. This man is almost done for. He should have breathed his last. They made me a priority within the clogged ER, ignoring all the stab wounds and the overdosed film stars. Placed in isolation, where I wasn't left alone, they peered at me through windows as my symptoms were unknown. They decked themselves in hazmat suits in case I was contagious. The yellow clashed with slate grey walls. Their styling was outrageous. The first thing that a patient gets is O2 through a mask. My nose was running volubly. The mask became a flask. And as I lay there drowning, someone noticed my dilemma. It must have been my plate-sized eyes and muscle spasm tremors. The doctor called for suction, a good option, I suppose. He may have been a dentist, as the tube went up my nose. I love a good secretion, but this stuff was mustard green. A robot came to empty it. The humans thought obscene. At last the doctor questioned me, as history is a must. My story destined for his book to quench his grisly lust. I mentioned that while pottering and trimming my begonias, I just collapsed with choking, so I must have twin pneumonia. Well, let me be the judge of that. Your case seems rare indeed, although we've seen some others, and the nursing staff agreed. They started a regime whereby they instigated tests with MRIs and CAT scans, ultrasounds and all the rest. They sampled so much of my blood, the place was in confusion. When I began to shrivel, they applied a quick transfusion. The plethora of knowledge they applied was academic. They wanted some assurance this was not a new pandemic. 6 days had passed in this, the most expensive inn in town. Results were inconclusive in this specialist's playground. When all at once the cleaner whispered in the doctor's ear, and next thing my wheeled gurney was transported to the rear. Out back, a giant warehouse. Well, it was a man cave shed, and that is where they took me. What on earth could be ahead? This was a massive ward chock full of blokes who looked like me, with hacking coughs and running nose. Well, it was plain to see. This was the Rhinovirus ward, and only filled with men. Their suffering was voluminous, a biohazard den. No sign of any visitors, the misery too great. Their wives were on vacation, free from all their whining mates. The treatment then was aspirin, with a box of man-sized tissues, and robots tended every bed. No other nursing issued. At 9 days every common cold has passed its vilest stage, and so I was discharged post-haste. No more infectious phage. I craved the solitude of being home for my recovery. The worst of it was all the tests that yielded no discovery. My wife sent me a postcard from a tropic isle resort. She'd made a host of friends, a sort of man-flu-free cohort. Saved from all the drama of a snivelling spouse's pleas, they'd formed a travel agency for women such as these. An insult to my injury, much worse than being ill. The doctor sent a get-well card with one enormous bill. Well, that was pretty rugged, and there may be a tiny bit of exaggeration in there, but I think the ladies can relate to when their man gets a common cold and all hell is to pay. But anyway, I'm better now, except for a hacking cough. I'm sure I coughed up a fur ball just a minute ago. Yep. Anyway, please like, share and subscribe and press the bell button so that YouTube can let you know when there's another fascinating poem coming your way. I look forward to seeing you next time, and bye-bye for now.